Hi everyone, it's Phil here from Ashland Leather, and today I wanted to talk to you about a special color. This is color number 8 shell cordovan, but did you know that you can translate this color name of color 8 to different leathers? Today I'm going to show you how color 8 can translate from color 8 shell cordovan over to some other leathers like Chrome Excel and Dublin, but also the history and the origin of this weird funky name. So color number 8 has become synonymous with the word cordovan, and that's because you see it so often. It's a dark brown and burgundy sort of oxblood shade, and it gets its color name from an old tannery designation. And there's a little bit of a legend behind it. It's either the amount of dye coats that the leather received or the name of the dye that the dye manufacturer provided to the tannery. But either way, the result is what you see here. Color number 8 is definitely beautiful. It's a classic for a reason. So today, color number 8 shell cordovan is the most popular shell cordovan color. But did you know back in the day, about 100 years ago, color number 4 was the standard? So here's a look at a Florsheim long wingtip shoe. And this is something I picked up on eBay a couple of years ago because I thought it was interesting. Back in the day, in the early 1900s, Florsheim in Chicago here started making these style of wingtip shoes out of shell cordovan. In fact, it's my understanding that Florsheim was the first footwear maker to use shell cordovan on their shoes, and the color that they started making their shoes with was actually color number 4. So you can see a little bit of that here. It's got a little bit more brown to it when compared to the color 8, which is definitely darker and more of like an oxblood, a little bit more cherry. There's almost a little bit more maroon burgundy in the color number 8, where the color number 4 has more of these subtle mid browns with a little bit of a reddish orange undertone. So take a look here. I've got 4 different pieces of shell cordovan. We're going to start with the lighter colors underneath and move to the darker shades on top. All 4 of these colors are those funky color names. On the bottom, this is color number 2, but these days this leather is called Garnet shell cordovan, and Garnet shell cordovan is the most red shell cordovan color that Horween leather makes right now. Some angles, it's definitely more of a vibrant and vivid red. And then other angles, it might start to soften up a little bit and get a little bit darker. So let me spin this one around to give you a full representation of the color of this leather. And next up underneath, we've got color number 4 shell cordovan. I was mentioning this is the medium brown shade with some nice reddish undertones. For a bunch of years until amaretto shell cordovan came around, the color number 4 was my favorite shell cordovan color. And next underneath those two, this is color 8 shell cordovan again, that dark brown burgundy shade. And the last one to show you, this is color number 16, which is very, very dark, almost black at certain angles. But if you look at it in full sun, you'll definitely see a little bit more of this reddish burgundy shade come through. So all of those colored numbered names are very confusing, but color number 8 shell cordovan is the classic color. And we had been getting a lot of requests for color number 8 on different leathers. So we actually are making a color number 8 Chrome Excel belt. So you can see here, the color number 8 Chrome Excel is a little bit more mild. It's a little bit lighter and almost more cherry than the color 8 shell cordovan. And I bring out this belt here because we just restocked a good amount of Chrome Excel belts. So if you're interested in a belt to match your shell cordovan shoes, the color 8 Chrome Excel is a really good option. It's a single layer belt made out of extra thick Horween Chrome Excel leather. And here's one more example of color number 8 translated to a different leather. This is a leather known as Dublin, and Dublin is tanned using the same tree barks that are used in the shell cordovan. All the tannins of the tree barks are exactly the same in this leather, but it's a steer hide instead of a horse butt, instead of the shell in the horse butt, I should say. So take a look at the Dublin. It's finished with a really nice hard wax layer over the grain, and it gives it this bright, shiny luster, but it also conceals a little bit of these lighter, more vivid colors underneath. So as I rub my finger underneath the spine of the wallet here, I'm displacing a little bit of the wax that was finished onto the grain, and I'm revealing a little bit more of these cherry undertones that are in the color 8 Dublin. And this is a great color, and it's really difficult for some reason for me to translate this over the photos and videos. But when people see this color in person, it's absolutely stunning. But I just love the Dublin leather because it has that really nice, bright, shiny luster, and then a unique grain character. In addition to that, you can see all these little bits of striations and the character of the grain, which are much different than the shell cordovan. So let's compare apples to apples here. Fat Herbie in my left hand is shell cordovan. We've got the color 8 Dublin in my right hand. Take a look at the shell cordovan. Very, very flat, smooth, and even, and very much a mirror-like shine to it. This is exactly what you want to see in a piece of shell cordovan. And if you're not familiar with this leather, this is a really unique tannage. Shell cordovan will never crease. So as I turn the leather like this, you'll never start to see little bits of pebbling and delamination. It should always stay very flat, smooth, and even. So the shell Cordovan will never crease, it will never pebble up, so it will give you this bright, shiny, and smooth appearance forever. All you have to do really is just polish it. And when I say to polish the leather, I just like to brush it myself. If you think it needs a little bit more than brushing, we do sell a product called Saphir Cordovan Cream that I think does a nice job filling in the shells and giving a little bit of a brighter luster. So this Fat Herbie is also back in stock. We started to make all of our Color 8 shell Cordovan items with a matching hand stained edge. So you can see the stain on the edge perfectly matches the Color 8 on the outside. Let me give you a look at the inside of this one. We try to cut the Horween Shell Cordovan ink stamp right into the center. And here's the little baby brother to the Fat Herbie. This is the Tony the Ant, also in Color 8 Shell Cordovan. You can see we have these brand new matching hand-stained edges, which really gives it a clean appearance. So people really like the aesthetic of the Fat Herbie with this exterior bill slot and the thumb notch on the outside of the wallet, but they wanted it in a little bit of a smaller form factor. So that's how the Tony the Ant came about. Card holders on the inside of the Tony the Ant are a little bit different because they're stacked on top of each other, whereas on the Fat Herbie, they're separated out. So you get a little bit more surface area to put all your credit cards and your cash. For that reason, this wallet tends to lay flatter in your back pocket, and I have a lot of people that are concerned about it fitting in a pocket. So let's just demonstrate that very quickly. I've actually never had an issue putting it into any pant pocket. It should stay fully concealed inside any back pocket. And we'll keep it going down to a little bit more of a minimalist style here. This is our Frank the Enforcer. And as I spin this wallet around, you'll see how the color shifts and transforms. There's a very incredible depth of color to every piece of shell Cordovan, including color number 8 shell Cordovan. You can see some more of those burnt cherry colors at some angles and a little bit more brown at other angles. This Frank the Enforcer also has those hand-stained edges, and I'm bringing this up because we do have a couple of these in stock as well. I've got 2 more color number 8 shell Cordovan items to show you. This one right here is our second most popular wallet right now. Color number 8 shell Cordovan on the Capone money clip. You can see on the edges that really beautiful Color 8 hand-stained edge that matches very well to the shell color on the outside, as well as on the inside of this wallet where we have more Color 8 shell Cordovan. This one we also have that Horween shell Cordovan ink stamp where we try to cut that into the center. And on the Capones, we have this spring bar money clip in a silver finish. If anybody has any issues at all with this money clip, you might want to take it out of the wallet like this and make sure that these 2 parts are fully screwed together. Because if this is not completely screwed together, these 2 parts, this clip tension is not as strong as it would be. So if I loosen this up, this clip won't hold a single bill. But if it's fully sealed together, it will give you the complete tension that you need. And last but very much not least, this is our most popular wallet right now, Johnny the Fox in 100% color number 8 shell Cordovan. So you've got shell Cordovan on the outside as well as shell Cordovan on the inside. These are very challenging for us to make because there are so many layers of leather on the inside of this wallet that we have to pick particularly thin and rare pieces of shell to layer these on top of each other. Otherwise, this wallet just gets way too thick. And as you can see, because we've picked nicely thin pieces, it's a perfect thickness for this wallet design. So again, beautiful, glassy, smooth shell on the outside with that really great depth of color, the Color 8 shell, hand-stained edges. We try to cut the ink stamp for this one inside the bill slot, and then more Color 8 shell Cordovan on the inside. So thanks for checking out everything in the video today. If you're interested in learning more about leather goods and how things are made, you might want to check out our brand new podcast. It's called the Full Grain Podcast with myself and Nick Horween. In a couple of our episodes, we talk about different characteristics of leather, different marketing terms like full grain and corrected grain, top grain and genuine leather, how that's confusing. We also have a great interview with Brett Viberg from Viberg Boot. And in our most recent conversation, we were talking about environmental and sustainability issues when it comes to manufacturing and all the fashion industry, fast fashion, things like that. So check it out, Full Grain Podcast. You also find the Full Grain Podcast on YouTube here, and I'll link that below. So thanks again for checking out everything in the video. If you have any questions about Color 8, or maybe Color 2, Color 4, or Color 16, definitely let me know. Until next time, hope you have a good one.